Good afternoon, everybody. Vampire YGO here again. I just want to say thank you again to everybody for the recent follows, likes, views, all the feedback that I've been getting, especially on the Dark Magician one. It's been awesome. Lately, I've just been posting a little bit more control variants of decks. This one here we have Evil Eye. It's definitely more of a control variant. I've tried 3 different ways of running this. This is the most consistent that I've came by so far. But yeah, again, thank you to everyone. And if you want to follow, like, subscribe, comment, feedback is always appreciated. Thank you guys again very much for your time and the views. Just let me know what you guys think. Just love putting this Yu-Gi-Oh content out there and just being part of the community. So let's get right into it. Let's do the Evil Eye monsters first. This is the bread and butter of the deck. This is pretty much, the card you want to go to the most, or at least see the most, especially turn 1. It's honestly one of the coolest looking cards I think in the game. It's one of my favorites. The 2 different color eyes. It's crazy. I run like the 3 different decks that have the Lilith in the Mystic Mind has the 2 different color eyes, and then the Necros, obviously short, and then have the 2 different color eyes. But what he does is when you normal summon him, you get to search an Evil Eye spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. And then essentially with the Pareidolia, the field card is the one that allows you to search for him monster-wise there. Also, if he's equipped with Evil Eye of Selene, quick effects during your turn or your opponent's turn, once per turn, you can destroy 1 special summon monster on your opponent's side of the field. And then the next standby phase occurring after that, you have to destroy 1 of your own cards. Usually you'll want to pop the Pareidolia or an Artifact Scythe, or the other Artifact Sanctum trap card there if you have one, and if you haven't used it by then. Doesn't happen often for that one. Most of the time you're going to pop Pareidolia. There's also times where you can, if you have to, you can pop the Evil Eye if you're in a situation to, and then pay 1,000 life points to revive the Evil Eye of Selene and just re-equip it to him at that point in time. But yeah, he's awesome. You can see him anywhere between 2,600 and like 5K. He gets up there. Next we have 1 Basilius, Familiar of the Evil Eye. This one's actually pretty cool as well. It's kind of like a Foolish Burial for you, and it also is a special summon. If you have an Evil Eye monster on the field, you can special summon this monster from your hand, and then after that, you can send 1 Evil Eye spell or trap card from your deck to your graveyard. Also gets you an effect towards your Evil Eye Selene count. I actually run 2 of those. I was thinking 2 Catabolicus versus 2 Basilius, but yes, you do want to run 2 of these. Just helps you get the Evil Eye Selene a little faster, and you can search for other traps and spells versus having to search for the Selene. And then we do have 1 Catabolicus, Familiar of the Evil Eye. He's a protector. You get him on board, and what happens is, if he's in your graveyard, and you have an Evil Eye monster on the field with Evil Eye of Selene equipped, you can basically special summon him from the grave, but he's banished when he leaves the field. And his effect is he can target 1 of your spell and trap cards, so you can either target Pareidolia, or 90% of the time you're going to target your Evil Eye of Selene to protect it for basically until the end of the next turn, which is amazing because it's pretty much the main thing you want to worry about. Other thing is Kaijus. Kaijus are definitely not what you want to see against this deck. They just Kaiju your Cerzial, and you're left sitting there not very happy. Next we'll get into the hand traps. I run 3 Ash Blossom in here, again since it is control variant. We're gonna run 2 Effect Veiler. I was thinking about running the 3rd, but I think for the actual 3rd one there instead, I'm running 1 Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, just for a little bit of variation for different situations, different decks. And then after the hand traps for the other assist cards there, we have 2 Artifact Scythe. This package still definitely works if you can go first turn and you can see this card, or at least see the Sanctum. Things aren't too bad. You can hold them out for a turn, boost Cerzial up, and just kind of build a better position for yourself there. And that would be it for the monsters. Next, we'll get into the Evil Eye Spell and Trap cards. We have 3 Evil Eye of Selene. I've seen a lot of people talk about running different variations of this one. 1, 2, I think 3 is the most consistent. If you see it in your hand, it is not bad. It's not considered a brick. I mean, you can put it on any of your Evil Eye monsters. A lot of people just kind of assume you just have to throw it on the Surzeal. You can throw it on the Catabolicus. You can throw it on the actual familiar there, but it's actually not that bad, because then if you have other search cards like your Surzeal or your Pareidolia, you don't have to worry about wasting the searches on the Selene. You can go ahead and get one of your Retributions or your Defeats, which you'll see in the future here. Next we have 3 Evil Eye Domain Pareidolia. Man, these artworks on all these Evil Eye cards are just freaking ridiculous. They look so sick. Look at some giant, crazy mansion balling out in some crazy world, doing Evil Eye things. Yeah, this card's awesome. You want to see this one first turn, you do run Terraforming in there as well, essentially just kind of to go with that. Gets you your Surzeal, so you search Pareidolia, or you get Pareidolia, search Surzeal. Surzeal searches for either Evil Eye of Selene, or unless you don't have that at the time, or if you have the familiar of like the, what do you want to call him, the Basilius, you can also use that search to get the Evil Eye into the graveyard if you have another card to banish at that point in time. Next, we run 1 Evil Eye Awakening. It's like Surzeal putting on the eye and turning into the Zurzeal, the Link monster. He looks freaking crazy. Nobody wants to mess with that dude. And then we also run, besides the Awakening, 2 Confrontation. It is Spell and Trap removal. It's amazing. It destroys 1 spell or trap on your opponent's side of the field. And if you have an Evil Eye card equipped to one of them as well, they are banished instead. But yeah, I think 2 is a good ratio. Sorry for the awkward silence. I thought I heard something going on there. My door kind of creaked open. It's just the AC turning off. But yeah, 2 Confrontation. Definitely want to see, I mean, those against anything like Mystic Mind, True Dracos. I mean, you guys all know the drill. Any Floodgates, anything problematic in general. And the other benefit to it is they are quick plays. We have 2 Duality, and then we run 3 Extravagance. Don't really use the extra deck too often, I would say. Out of the, 2 to 3 duels in a match, essentially, you'll probably link off once or twice. You'll most of the time usually just go to your Zurzeal if you have the opportunity, or if it's not gone by the Extravagance, or you go to the Witch's Apprentice or the Cherubini for the protection. And then next we will move on to the trap cards. You want 3 of this card in the deck. It is ridiculous. It's kind of like a Stellar Nova, except you don't draw a card. You get the benefit of them not being able to negate this card if you have an Evil Eye card on the field, or I mean Selene on the field. But in general, you negate a spell or trap that's activated. If you have Evil Eye Selene on the board, this card cannot be negated. And again, it's like Surzeal had just finished putting the eye on, and now he's doing some wild stuff. And I run 1 Defeat. This is a card that you can definitely run it at 2 depending on your situation. I put more in the side deck, but some crazy artwork. Surzeal just like got done messing up the Basilius for some reason. Yeah, this card's dope. It's a compulsory, and if you have Evil Eye Selene on the field, you can pop 2 monsters on their field instead. Definitely useful. And all their cards are searchable. They're extremely searchable throughout most of the deck, so you can kind of pick and choose depending on what you're going against and whether you go first or second. I run 1 Impermanence. If I had another one, I would take out the Ghost Ogre maybe for the other one, or maybe one of the Effect Veilers. And we run 3 Artifact Sanctum for the Scythe package. And then we run 3 Crackdown. I mean, I just stand by. I think that most control decks should be running at least 2 or 3 copies of this card. It is insane. Being able to use their monsters to link off, or just taking a part of their combo at a specific time to where they can't really recover or continue from there, or they set up a mediocre board and then you have one of their monsters plus Zerzial on your side of the field protected. If Zerzial effect hasn't gone off by that time as well, you have some more protection. And then again, once it's your turn, you're only going to be plussing at that point. And then that would be it. It is a 40 card deck. I'll be moving on to the extra deck. Side deck, again, I won't be showing off. It's pretty much, again, depending on what you feel like you should be going against in this meta, or what you're seeing at your locals there. Nibiru's, Dark Rulers No Mores, Solemn Judgments. I mean, there's all kinds of things. Super Polys are definitely an awesome option as well. The only reason I'm really running 3 of this card is because you have the Extravagance. You only really need to see one of him once you get the Evil Eye on him. That Zerzial version, man, he looks like a boss. All these cards, they kind of remind me of, I'm not sure if you guys ever played Devil May Cry. They all seem like artworks or some sort of like villains you would have seen in Devil May Cry. Wild looking, but he's awesome. He starts at 26. If you used a Zerzial or a monster that had 26 or higher attack to make him, he can make a second attack that turn, but he also has the same effect as Zerzial, where he's got the quick effect, target 1, instead of monster, it's target 1 card they destroy, or they control, instead of just 1 monster, and he can pop it as well. And then same thing, afterwards you have to pop one of yours. This card's actually pretty good. You can use the first and secondary effect. Mostly you're just making for the protection, but otherwise a lot of times you'll want to go to the Wee Witch just to get the extra boost on top of it. 2. I actually would only be running, I run 3 Wee Witches right now, but instead of running a 3rd Wee Witch, I would actually cut 1 out, and I would make it to the other tour guide card. I don't know why I'm not remembering her name. The one that just came out in Dual Power. The Link 2. I would be using 1 of her instead and take out 1 of these guys. We also got 1 Lambda, just for easy linkage if need be. Same thing, more protection / the negate. Never, I don't think I've ever made this one though. Definitely, I've actually made the Cerberus and the Phoenix a decent amount of time online with these when I've been testing the deck and at the locals. And then for the 3rd part of the Nightmare package, the Unicorn. And then rarely will you get the opportunity to make a Link 4, but it definitely has come up. And either one of these options, depending on your situation, most of the time, this is the one you're going for here, because you're usually in a bind if you're linking at that point to kill, because usually, again, you're pretty much just going to get Zerzial on board within your first 2 turns, and he will stay there pretty much for the remainder of the duel. But other than that, that is the deck. Let me know what you guys think of the profile. Just as usual, please comment, and if you guys do dislike, please just let me know why. I'm always open to feedback and definitely constructive criticism. And this is honestly one of my favorite decks. Like I said, I've tried 3 different variants. I can always show some of the other variants as well from different versions of decks, but this is the one that I found to be most consistent. It's actually a really good deck, and it grinds out really well against a lot of the meta decks if it doesn't beat them within the first 2 turns there. Thank you guys again for everything. Vampire YGO out, and everyone have a good night.